Hello, hello. Happy Thursday. Welcome to this week's Influential Live Show. I'm your host, Stacey Rasky, and we are talking all things creating your content strategy for 2023. Because again, if you're doing all the beginning of the year stuff, just like I am and everybody in the ecosystem, this is goals planning time. This is process mapping time, which I've talked about on a couple of weeks ago, actually a couple of different times, right? Between how to create those process goals and identifying what that process is for you. Well, today is a continuation of that process because one of those process elements in establishing your brand authority, your genius with the world, and being able to take this strategy and convert it into clients and sales is having a plan. And it's super, super easy to feel overwhelmed in crafting that content strategy. There's so much information out there. Today, I'm going to break it down, make it super simple, practical, tactical, and something you can implement. So you can walk out of our conversation today knowing what you need to focus on and then how to move the needle forward. Because at the end of the day, this is about make the bar really low, keep things super simple. I don't know about you, recovering overthinker. We're great at making things way more complicated than it needs to be. Give me some love if you know that one. If you're like, yes, I can make it hard. But that is not being influential. Being influential is allowing things to be simple, effortless. And remember, simplicity is the highest form of sophistication. So who's excited for today's topic? Because I know I am pumped with amazing ideas for the new year, for the launches of new offerings, new products, new assets, all kinds of really cool stuff this year. And so I met with my team actually yesterday, and we mapped this out for our year. We did the entire year. Every month, we know what we're going to be promoting, what we're going to be launching. We're going to be mapping the whole thing out in what we need to get done in order to release all of those things. And what was interesting is not only did we do that yesterday morning, but then one of my clients messaged me and she's like, oh my God, do you have a video talking about how to better leverage social media and the content strategy? I was like, oh, isn't that interesting? We're literally in that space of talking about that right now. So obviously you get the benefit of all of these conversations behind the scenes because I'm going to share with you exactly what we're doing. So with that being said, are you ready to dive in? So the first thing that's really important is, of course, I hope you've mapped out your goals, that you know what your target metrics are for the year, right? The outcome. So I just always jump to, okay, if your outcome goal is $2 million, how much sales and of what products, services, or offers do you need to sell in order to reach that income goal? So back in November, we did that with one of my clients, Suki. She's like, okay, I want to hit this target metric in my business. And I was like, okay, cool. So let's talk about your offer, or all of your offers and what you need to sell. And we retroactively mapped out how much of everything she needed to book. So we looked at the stuff that was the most limited first. So for example, if part of that revenue goal is supported with something that's very finite, like the number of speaking gigs you want to do this year that you get paid for, I'm just throwing that out there as an example. So if you want to speak on stages and you want to get paid $15,000 a pop, and you've got the bandwidth to do it approximately 6 times this year, once every other month, right? So that's 6 times 15,000. There's your math taking up that little section there. That's part of your revenue. So then you look at your next top tier item. If you are doing maybe one-on-one coaching and consulting, or have a really awesome high ticket offer, or, concierge agency level services, depending on what your business is, how much bandwidth do you have? Or how many of those top tier clients do you want? So for example, for myself, having my top tier, completely private, on demand, me and my team, we want 4 of those clients this year. 4 of those completely private, exclusive executive clients. That's it. It's all I've got the bandwidth for, to hold space for them in that way. So calculate that out, put that in, you add all of those things in, and then just work your way down, right? Work your way down to your middle tiers, your lower tiers, right? You've got your done for yous at the top, or private if you're coaching or consulting one-on-one. Your done with yous somewhere in the middle, like a group program or a slightly lower level of service if you're a service provider. And then obviously you've got your DIYs, right? Anything that you can sell on repeat that doesn't require any additional investment of time or energy from you. Anything DIY, courses, trainings, ebooks, your books, if you're going to be writing your books, which we're going to talk about that more, obviously later this month. Excuse me. And work your way down to the lowest ticket offer. Calculate all of that stuff so you know your sales. From there, now you've got to look at mapping out every single month of the year. What is one thing you want to focus on to help promote sales towards one of those things? Generally, one key thing per month is ideal. So we don't create too much confusion promoting too many things. So for me in January, obviously, I have my Freedom Summit. This is the big thing we're focusing on, driving traffic to. Yes, there's front end sales to buy tickets, but ultimately, like everything that we do, every one of us, right? Everything we do like that is a conversion event. The idea is, sure, whether somebody pays $7 to come to a masterclass, or $397 or $497 to come to an event, if they get that feel and love what you're doing, the purpose of these things is really to get them to invest in working with you in a bigger way, right? They get a taste and experience. So now it's converting it into something else. So nothing like being live and having people walk in with your lunch. Thank you, honey. Delivery. It's all good. So think about, what conversion events can you do? Are you hosting a workshop? Are you promoting a new freebie? Are you going to offer any sort of a workshop, a masterclass, right? Anything like that is specific to any of those upcoming or existing offers that you want to sell. So that helps you focus your content for the month. And then we're going to kind of break it out even more. So for example, right? Like I said, January, we know I'm promoting the workshop. Well, we've already started the conversation in here. If you saw the post the other day about who's going to be writing their books in this new year. So what I'm going to be doing next is actually checking in with everybody to see if it's of value to actually do a little live workshop where we map out the structure of your book and also map out your marketing plan, just being of service, right? And then we do have our author program. So obviously that is an opportunity to, one, be of service to the community. People get massive results at that event. But for those who are like, ooh, okay, I need to do this more, I need to work through it faster, we get to have that conversation, see if maybe our author program is a fit. Cool. Regardless, it works. So we get to be of service to our ideal audience, and we get to convert leads through one of those conversion events. So one of those things every single month is kind of your main focus. Now, The other thing I want you to do is also look at all of your existing assets. What do you already have? Do you have a book? Do you have a podcast? Do you have a Facebook community? Do you have any other free resources that already are existing, or something that you already use yourself or with your clients that you can offer as a freebie? And then start to connect the dots. If you have some of these resources, sometimes just a resource by itself and focusing on sharing that resource can be one of the things for that month. So for example, I don't know if you've ever been to one of my live events. Everybody gets a copy in person of this 90-day transformation journal. I give them away for free. It's a beautiful asset. It's really easy to use. It's super powerful. Everybody loves it. So for May, we're going to take this journal and turn it into an ebook. So it's a printable or a fillable version of this. So that is going to be my asset that I have that I can focus on all of my content around May, driving traffic to that asset, right? And everything's going to focus my entire month. All of my content is going to talk about tracking, right? Because that's the time people are on the decline. They're losing momentum on the New Year's goals in May. We're starting to get nicer weather. We're getting distracted. So it makes sense for my audience. So you've got all of those things that you want to do. Map out all of those existing assets or any assets you'd like to create. And how do all of those things fit into every single one of those months? Are there existing assets for me? Like I can use the podcast. If there's any topics that support one of the things I'm leading up to in one of the months, hey, that's a great time to share. Hey, you know, if we're talking all about getting your book out in February, I have some of those episodes of my podcast that are all about writing your book. So it makes sense to share stuff about that, right? I'm sure you get the picture, but please drop questions in the comments below as we're going through this. Okay. Now that you know your assets and you know your targets for every single one of the months, kind of your one primary focus. It can be a functional, like, hey, you want to focus on driving everybody to this specific offer. What do you need to do as your conversion event? What is all your content going to be focused on for that month? What are all those assets you have? Now, we're going to break down two more things, right? And so we're going to have all these kind of silos of information, and then we're going to bring it all together. So next, who is your ideal client and where are they hanging out online? This is really, really, really important because I see a lot of people extending themselves way too thin, trying to post on all these places. And I'm like, who's your client? And they're like, yeah, it's this and this and this person. And I'm like, so why are you posting on Facebook if your ideal client is on LinkedIn? Right? So you got to get super clear on the platform that you want to support where your ideal clients are, because you do not have to grow your presence on every single platform at the same time. It's what dilutes your brand and it dilutes your message. It's focus and target where your clients are hanging out and do your best to keep them on that platform or get them into your ecosystem, aka your email list, your CRM, so you can email and text message them, and you've got them. You have control over that information, not just on social media. Okay. Where are they hanging out? Because that's going to help you focus your investment of time and energy when you are creating content. My most important top priority is nurturing my email list because that's my list. I have control over that. So everything starts there. And then secondary to that is my social media content on the platforms where I know my ideal clients are. My ideal clients, over time as I've evolved and my ideal client has evolved, I know my focus in 2023 is actually going to be YouTube. That's where I need to be. That's where my clients are. So it'll be transitioning my content strategy to be more YouTube focused. And then the ancillary from there is going to be TikTok, Instagram, Facebook with reel, the reels and TikToks can come off of the YouTube shorts primary video. You get what I'm talking about. Okay. So we know where to post primary. We know all our assets. We know our target conversion or target focus every month, one main thing. So we're not confusing our buyers because remember, confused mind doesn't buy. Okay. Now, do you know all of the topics you want to talk about to establish your brand authority? Whatever it is that you know is your zone of genius, like, yes, I talk about a lot of things. I help people with a lot of stuff. Just like today, we're talking about content strategy, but people know me as the boundaries expert. People know me for talking about control issues, boundaries, time and energy management, right? Like that's what my brand, my personal brand is known for. Right? Freedom and fulfillment through boundaries and getting rid of the control issues because it's a consistent message across the board that is an important hook for my ideal client. Really super simple. So know your key brand topics, right? It's easy for us to kind of go all over. Now, of course, on Instagram, you'll see reels of me cooking dinner with my husband because yes, I am a brand and I am living the lifestyle as an example of what my clients are working to do for themselves as well. So it's all pertinent to the brand, but not every single day am I just boundaries, control, boundaries, control, boundaries, control, right? We can add some variety. So think about those key focused main topics you want your brand to be known for. But then also add in some other topics. If lifestyle is important, if relationships are important to you, it's part of your personal brand. Those are great topics to also talk about. Real life stuff, business, lifestyle, relationships, whatever it is that you are doing, social media, content, IT, whatever it is, those are important things to talk about. And then everybody loves behind the scenes. Everybody loves storytelling. So kind of getting those buckets of topics, content buckets. So, okay, now we know we've got our assets, we've got our content buckets. And now between the content bucket and the assets, you start weaving those together throughout the month to direct everyone towards whatever that main thing is you're choosing to focus on, right? If you're choosing to focus on a masterclass, a workshop, a course launch, a book launch, a product launch, an event, right? You start getting the ball rolling, the momentum being built around that particular thing by peppering in those topics, peppering in some of the other fun stuff, and kind of just recycling. So let's see here. Yep. All right. So I think I wasn't even looking at my notes. I was just like going to town and I'm like, oh, wait, I hit everything. Okay. So the last piece, you know your ideal client, you know the primary platform, so think about, for example, if your ideal client is on LinkedIn, what from that can you also repurpose onto other platforms, right? That's helpful. So also think about focusing on your primary platform, but where can you also automate some additional leverage of your time, energy, and effort. So think about this way. Think about leveraging your time. I am a one and done person. I want to do one action and have as many touch points as possible. So the way that I do that, if I am not pre-scheduling my Instagram posts, if I post Instagram today, I have the little button turned on to automatically share it to my Facebook profile. One and done. Instagram and Facebook at the same time. Great. So I have scheduling social media. I can do that through my Go High Level account, my CRM. It's got the social media in there. You can pre-schedule a lot of stuff in there as well. One and done. If you can put one post up and have it go across multiple platforms, life is good. So same thing with a live stream. If you do a live stream just like this, right? This is about building community. This used to only go to my Facebook group, the weekly live shows. But as I said, 2023, I am doing more on YouTube. So guess what I started doing? Co-live streaming to my YouTube channel at the same time that it's going to the group. One and done. When I do my live streams for my events, right? The speaker series, I have that go 3, maybe 5 different places at once, depending on what we're doing. So again, one and done. So think about how many ways you can leverage. So let's get into a few other hacks here, also with the one and done. I write content for an email, and that drives the content that goes into social media. So really, I'm creating one main piece of content, but how much can I pull out of that one piece of content? So what a lot of people do, and when I'm really efficient, I do it this way. Take, for example, I record this live stream, which yes, today I am fully live. Sometimes I pre-record it and then share it as a live stream. It just depends on how I'm needing to leverage my schedule and my time. But what's cool is if you pre-record it to do your live, you can also transcribe it. You transcribe that information, turn it into an email, social media posts, trim it down, spread it across all the platforms. And really what you've done is take one piece of content, recording a 30-minute video, and turn it into content, snippets, reels, copy, emails across all your platforms for that week. And remember, all 4 weeks are supporting that one central goal for the month. Where are you driving everyone to? So we have a lot of consistency in our messaging throughout the course of the month. We're always driving back to similar CTA, depending on what we're doing. Now, I will still pepper in other CTAs depending on what it is, your call to action. But for the most part, we keep with a similar theme. And how many different ways can we speak to our clients' pain points, fears, discomforts, and speak to their desired results, and even more so, the benefits of those desired results by the end of that month, right? So we're really speaking and pulling them into a story where they're the hero, you're the guide, and of course, whatever that offer is at the end is the solution. So you're establishing brand authority, you're connecting to your ideal client, and really eliminating objections by the time you present whatever the offer is, or present the offer at the conversion event, like the workshop, the class, or at the end of them reading the ebook that you offered, whatever it is. So email is my focus. If I can pull that out of a video, awesome. Now keep in mind, another hack that I'm starting to do is actually put my phone up on the side here and record me if I have a session, a virtual coffee, a meeting with somebody, one of my mentors. It's just recording me. I'm not recording the other person, but if I have those moments where I'm just spouting out some genius because I'm in flow, that's a great snippet to turn into a TikTok video. So again, I'm not having to do extra work and think about, okay, now I need to come up with something snazzy to say. No, it's just happening naturally. We just happen to catch it, repurpose it. I mean, literally, I've just been recording myself cooking lately, and it's turning it into these amazing reels. So, just regular daily life, but especially when you're looking at just awesome stuff to say, if you're having conversations with people regularly, record it. It's great stuff. Even if it's just an audio, and then you can put like pretty video of whatever behind it, and then it's just your genius audio. All right, last hack today. I have been playing around with ChatGPT, the AI, and it is a helpful content starter. It is a great idea generator. So for example, I typed in, hey, give me a content plan for a leadership coach. And it gave me 4 weeks of content ideas. So, sometimes we are so full of amazing ideas that it's just so much that we just get, we're constipated with the creativity. And so something like the AI is a great, hey, pull it into a narrow lane, give us some focus, and there you go. So if you say, hey, okay, I'll just use myself as an example. I can go into ChatGPT and say, hey, I need a content strategy or content plan for a leadership coach working with new authors, right? I'm sure it'll give me really specific stuff. So play with that. Play with that. If you're like, hey, can I bring all of these ideas together? And I've got so much, it gives you a nice focus. So I hope this was valuable for you today, giving you some really simple ways to really craft an effective content plan, because you know what you're going to focus on every month. You know every one of those content ideas, the topics for your brand, all of your existing assets, where you want to send people to, and you just kind of blend that together and keep it really simple. When, how many times do you want to post? What platform are you on? And how can you repurpose as much as possible? But like I said, let me know if you have any questions. If stuff like this is of value to you and you really, really enjoyed it and want more topics like this, please share any additional topics you would love to learn on how to really elevate your brand authority by following your inner authority, because that's what we're doing. We're clarifying the inner authority to establish more of your brand authority. All right. Enjoy your week. Remember, as always, you are enough. And if you have not gotten tickets to the Freedom Summit, time is a ticking. It is at the end of this month. So head over to beinfluential.com and get your butt here to Tampa, because we are going to be deep diving into all of this type of stuff. Everything from the financial plan, so you know exactly how to strategize to maximize your economics in 2023, the money, all the way down to who do you need to be in your self-management and your mastery plan to be the leader that has a high-performing culture and gets those amazing results, because you value performance, people, and profit. You want to be at that event. So I will see you there. Otherwise, have an amazing week. Remember, you are enough, and I'll see you next week. Bye.